YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here. Had a replay submitted to me. This player, Mr. Wid, came up against Ninja Hun, who runs an awesome Twitch channel. By the way, if you guys haven't gone over to Twitch and checked out Ninja Hun, he does a ton of Warhammer battles, and he gives good advice and talks about his builds. And he runs tournaments, so definitely got to check him out. He's a great player, and Mr. Wid here is going to catch him, like I said, in a quick battle with Beastmen versus Bretonnian. Bretonnian can be a tough opponent for Beastmen, but at the same time, I think that it's a good faction to pick for Ninja Hun to challenge himself as well. Not just picking Empire and going with the hardest counter builds. He's got some cavalry really working way out to the flanks here, Knights of the Realm. I saw several Centaurs with great weapons. There's two, and I like this pick against Bretonnian because against their cavalry, the Centaurs with great weapons would probably do pretty good. Cygor spawning up here from a Bray Shaman with Wild Lore. Got Beastlord, and I see a Gorbol there in the center. Solid place to put Gorbol. A couple of Bestigor Herd. A couple of Warherds. I'm not big on Bestigor Herd versus Bretonnian because they don't have shields, and if Bretonnian chooses to go with Halberds, they're going to be very good, but the Spearmen will still be fine because they absorb all the bonus, and it allows Ninja Hun to spend all the rest of his money. He's got a nice little flying goon squad here with Leon Kerr and two Paladins. Definitely a solid choice. He's got a Damsel over here as well, and then there's two Knights of the Realm hidden in those woods. Interesting to see the Damsel. Be curious to see how Ninja Hun tries to use Lore of Heavens against the Beastmen. Let's try and check out the spells here. It's like Arcane Conduit and then maybe some buff spells. I can't tell what all of them are just from looking at the icons. I need to learn them better. So let's see what happens. We got the I like how he's keeping the Damsel right here in the middle of all these Knights of the Realm. That's a fairly safe spot for her. Here comes the flying goon squad. Let's see if they decide to swoop in. They are not because there's spear support around. Centaurs with great weapons could as well swamp those guys. Let's kind of see how this one plays out. Ninja Hun is an excellent player. He really is. He's not number one on the leaderboard, but I think he's won more victories than anybody on the leaderboard. He plays a ton of battles. And I don't know how often he loses. I haven't watched him often enough, but I do drop into his stream every now and then. It's definitely good watching. I'm at work all day, though, so I don't get to catch it a ton. Anyway, let's watch this Cygor. Let's see if he lands a hit here on these Cav. It's going to be a good one. Ooh, not quite. These Knights of the Realm can charge in and get some serious work done versus the Bestigor here, and that's exactly what they're going to do. I like that. Oh, nobody pulls off of it at the last second. Interesting. So it really just ends up causing damage to him. Oh, it's because the Centaurs with great weapons were there. So yeah, definitely a good choice to pull away from that charge. Definitely didn't want to be there on that because that would have been bad for him. He was a little bit far away from support. I like how Ninja Hun here being very vulnerable, microing his force as well, keeps moving, keeps switching things up. Gonna make it tricky. The Beastmen players are almost kind of in defense against Bretonnian, which is interesting, but he has a Cygor, so he should be. You want to try and take your time with that. If the flying units land around all these Centaurs, it's gonna be dangerous for him. But with all the Knights of the Realm around, it's safer for him to try and come down. So let's see what happens. This Bray Shaman of Wild is going to be a little bit vulnerable here. And it looks like maybe Leon Kerr is thinking about coming on down. If he comes down to support this cavalry fight, that's going to be perfect. Because otherwise, I think that cavalry fight would sway into the favor of the Centaur. So nice use of the flying lackey squad here. It's a good time to bring him down. Because like I said, those Centaurs would have done well. But yeah, Curse of the Midnight Wind. And the Sword of Corone being used to excellent effect there. Got rid of the Centaurs with great weapons. But these Knights of the Realm got destroyed. And this one's being chased as well. So, nice play here by Ninja Hun. The infantry engagement's going to easily go to Mr. Wid. He's going to break through. And these, look at these bows already wavering over here. Shaken. I wonder what they were shaking. Losing. Probably because the Cygor got a good hit with his rocks in. Centaurs with great weapons over here get caught by the flying goon squad, and they're gonna take these guys out. But a pretty valiant effort from the Centaurs with great weapons. They're just getting overwhelmed with these flying units. It probably would have been good to keep those engagements closer to these spears. Cygor's taking fire from the archers. and he'll be dropping relatively quick, but this little blob here is about to break apart for the Beastmen, and Gorbul's going to get free. I'm trying to think how the Beastmen are going to deal with Leoncoeur and the Paladins without their Centaurs with great weapons. They've gotten rid of most of the cavalry that was on the ground, though. And there was 2 Cygors, apparently. I didn't notice this earlier. So, interesting. Yeah, I got rid of these Knights of the Realm. The Centaurs with great weapons performing quite well there. They're not going to be able to beat Leoncoeur unless they were in a massive, like, blob. Rear charge here is going to take out this Bray Shaman. Nice counter charge, though, to stop this Knights of the Realm and get a little bit of extra damage done. I like that. So these Knights of the Realm are going to eat it. Regrouped Centaurs coming in. I like this. This could pin down the flying units long enough for the spears to come in and help out. I don't think this is going to get rid of the flying units. These Centaurs with great weapons are kind of routing in the presence of Leoncoeur, and not a big surprise in that case. So Ninja Hunt is stuck on the ground, maybe momentarily here. And his main line has kind of broken apart. He's having to retreat with his archers. A lot of Beastmen left over here with a Gorbul and a full health Beastlord. And then the 2 Cygors are still very much alive. Here comes a nice lightning bolt from the Damsel, trying to do some damage to these Ungor spears. Damsel gets hit by the Centaurs with great weapons. I'm not sure there's enough of them, though, to finish that fight, and she's being protected by the king. He's always saying, for the lady, and this time he actually is protecting the lady. I like the damage that the Centaurs get done versus Leoncoeur. They're just so thrashed from that earlier fight, and then the 2 Paladins. This one's kind of stuck in amongst a bunch of spears, but I mean, with a little bit of help, like if Leoncoeur gets free and comes around for a rear charge, be in good shape, but Gorbul's coming in. He's going to have to keep an eye on that. The rest of the Bretonnian troops are kind of being pelted by the Cygors, and they're going to be able to keep most of these guys on pretty low morale. So really, mostly just a flying goon squad left for Bretonnia. And they're trying to get rid of some of these Centaurs. Leoncoeur's safely back up in the air. This Paladin's caught. It's a nasty place to be in, too, because now Gorbul's here, so this Paladin's in trouble. That's going to be a huge victory for the Beastmen player here. The Centaurs with great weapons, I still think, kind of clutched this out for the Beastmen. Put a ton of hurt on the Bretonnian cavalry. And like I said, against the high armor cavalry that are like anti-infantry type cavalry, Centaurs with great weapons are definitely going to pay. They're going to be a useful unit. Yeah, Leoncoeur and the Paladin probably ought to go up here and try and finish off the Cygor, because he's far enough away from support. Got Gorbul, Bretonnian infantry maybe trying to regroup over here. There's still quite a long battle left. 10 minutes. So let's see what happens. This Cygor, I'm going to fast forward for a moment. This Cygor is probably going to get waylaid. Yeah, Cygor got killed, and then the Centaurs with great weapons are going to get wiped out. But they do hold these guys on the ground long enough for this Cygor, but that Cygor probably really doesn't want to be in this melee. I mean, he can get some damage done. Yeah, he's getting a little bit of damage done versus Leoncoeur. That's not bad. He'll have to use up some more of his replen. But that Cygor is probably going to want to get away and stay near its support. Now let's see how many troops that Bretonnia was able to regather. Quite a bit of ammo left in the bowmen still. But this Cygor also has plenty of ammo, 13 shots still. Let's fast forward and see what happens as the 2 different armies regroup. Probably not a bad idea for Bretonnia to regroup, try and stay outside of the range of the Cygor, and see if the flying units are maybe able to pick it off. Or even just draw its fire, it could be useful. And look right there where Leoncoeur can kind of do quick hit and runs on units like those Warherds with shields. Definitely a good use of him. Bretonnians are going to come try and take the high ground, also a good idea. And the Damsel is kind of just sitting out here. I'm assuming she's charging up power reserves and hoping to be helpful. More harassment from Leoncoeur. He still hasn't hit his regen cap. I can't fix it on him because this isn't another one. But yeah, I mean, he's still regenerating, so he's going to be getting pretty healthy here. Interesting that he's on the back side of the hill because he's trying to keep the Cygor from having a shot at him. So this is nice positioning by Ninja Hunt. The only downside is Obviously, he's got to get to the top of that hill as the beastmen were to approach. Gorbol and the Beastlord are kind of a threat here. You could try and charge them and get out of combat with the 2 flying units, and it might work, but there's so many infantry here, it's hard to say. You would definitely want to do it within maybe some support range of this army over here. But some hit and runs from the flying units could do a lot of damage. Cygor almost lands a hit right there, not quite. Leon Kur is still regenerating. Cygor could rout peasant units with a hit like this. He did. Let's see, still 4 minutes left. If a lot of these peasant units get hit by that Cygor, he very well could take them off the battlefield. And the peasant bows happen to use their ammo on the Cygors, probably actually good, because then they can't use it on infantry. You can see the peasant bows, as soon as they take one shot from that Cygor, they are not happy. Alright. Great match, though. Really liking this match. I like how Ninja Hun just doesn't quit and he just keeps fighting for victory here. Nice hits on the Gorbol with the charge, but he's gonna have to, well, no, he's doing a ton of damage here. Sword of Corone used, so that's gonna draw down the Beastman infantry to a point of near uselessness, but Gorbol has a foolhardiness and a potion of healing. So unfortunately for Bretonnia, they're just not gonna be able to keep up with Gorbol here. His healing capability. Here comes some spears to help join in. Bowman firing in. At the same time, it's not real. Oh, wow, no, Gorbol did succumb. Here comes a lightning strike. Beastman infantry suddenly looking shaky, getting hit by the remaining peasant archers, so Ninja Hun making a battle out of this. The Beastlord's still very much alive, but Gorbol gets taken off the field. If the flying units can get away here, that's going to be huge, because they could come out and finish off Gorbol. The Bretonnian infantry at this point in decent shape. Yeah, Leon Kur's free, and the Damsel's chasing Gorbol. Nice use of the Damsel here. That lightning strike, the Iranan's Thunderbolt, was timely, and now the Beastman on the run from a regrouped Bretonnia. How about that? The Beastlord here, though, he can get a lot of work done versus these spears. The Paladin's definitely needed here for support. Gorbol's going to continue to be chased by the Damsel. And if he doesn't come back from routing, that's a huge loss for the Beastmen here. Nice rear charge from Leon Kur. It's going to hit the Beastlord. The Beastmen were looking pretty strong, and now their case is looking fairly weak, I think. But we'll see. This battle has already swung once where I thought it was heavily in favor of the Beastmen, and it swung back. If these peasants get to routing, it's going to be pretty painful. A point-blank shot here from the Cygor would be nice, too, to help rid some of this infantry. Is he going to come into melee? He's going to come into melee and try and help put some beat down on Leon Kur. Uh-oh, so now here it is swinging back the other way against Bretonnia. Leon Kur has hit his regen cap, and if he takes a shot from the Cygor, yeah, it's going to cause some damage. It's not as good as a giant or anything, but it's gonna do damage. Gorbol, though, effectively knocked off the field by a lady riding side saddle. That's got to make Gorbol feel like less of a man-minotaur. Y'all ever notice that the Damsel rides side saddle? It's pretty tricky. Yeah, look at that. Leon Kur trying to get away. The Paladin wavering right now, so this is huge. The Beastmen can keep applying the pressure here and get that Paladin up. The Paladin regains some of his leadership. If they can get him off the field, it's going to be massive. But Leon Kur swinging around probably for another charge here. Oh yeah, he's going to land a nice charge on the Beastlord. The Paladin is wavering still. He is just on the verge of routing, but not quite. And it looks like a potion of foolhardiness applied, and that's going to be a very timely potion of foolhardiness. So this is going to keep Ninja Hun in the fight and continue to make a fight of this, but as soon as that potion of foolhardiness wears off, that's going to be trouble. This one's very close. If the Beastlord dies, I can see this maybe swinging back the other way, but the peasant bows just routed. And the power bar's kind of wavering back and forth a little bit here. This is definitely going to be close. Oh, Leon Kerr just eats it, so it's over. Wow, that was a nice fight by both players. Nice fight. I like how Ninja Hun regrouped and put up a very effective second effort there. That was a close fight. Enjoyed that one. Love to see fights like this more often. That was great. So that's going to be it. Mr. Wid and his Beastmen are going to take this one home from Ninja Hun, which is a victory indeed. And there was some really well played stuff there. 95 kills with Leon Kerr. And that Paladin, it was close, folks. That was definitely close in the end there. So, like I said, great game. Appreciate Mr. Wid sending that in. Hope you all enjoyed that. I know I certainly did. I will see you back on some more Total War Warhammer action soon. HeirofCarthage signing out.